here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out New Cat Body by Jeremy.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is Tuesday. Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B. We have had no injury update. And the reason why those injury updates came out so late is because they wanted to do a night practice. So, as far as we know, it's Gibbs with a hammy, Straw with an ankle, and Terrion Arnold with an upper body injury so far. I have looked. There has been no updates other than that. There's been a couple of misrepresentations on a couple of clickbait sports and Reddit saying it's possibly an ACL, but that has not been confirmed or talked about at all. So I do not want to speculate that it's any worse than what we heard reported out of camp last night. Moonscar Blade, lunchtime with JB, go Lions. Yes, I hadn't seen you the last couple of days there, buddy, and got a couple pictures to show you. I put in my application trying to be an assistant coach. But I did get to meet Eric Hipple, and yes, that is a full-size helmet he signed for me. I won that at the training camp pre-camp meeting with Will Rock and Eric Rantamiki. God, I can never say that thing right. But Trace Hacker and I drove down there. I also got to meet Jeff Iafrady and Booner just before the show. So that was great, being able to talk shop with those guys. But camp went well. I saw lots of good things. That camp, I saw no major injuries, but we heard that Nate Lynn is out for the season and heading to the IR. And Antoine Green ended up with a shoulder injury on top of the concussion that they didn't even notice right away. So he has been waived. I expect that he'll end up back on the roster into the practice squad. And we cut Ike Bettger, and I believe that was medically induced too. Good afternoon, Dad. It's nice to see you here, and you made it. But Houston was not practicing because he's dealing with a knee or hammy injury. We don't know for sure. No details, but he was walking around with training staff along with Laporta. Brian Branch and Laporta. Brian Branch was doing the one-on-one drills on Sunday, but returned to practice yesterday and stripped Isaiah Williams of the ball on a pass, or Caden Davis. I couldn't tell in the picture, but it's one of those two. So he's returning right to form. Like the ball never hit the ground. He literally just snatched it out of their hand. And then as far as signings, we signed Tyler Simmons, a backup linebacker who used to be on the Packers and went to another roster last year. He's kind of practice squad body depth at this point, with Rodrigo having a mild injury as well. We're a little dinged up, but you know what? We're built for this. Next man up. Rodrigo isn't a starter anyway, so it really is it that big a deal? But as the depth starts to get chipped away, that's when it becomes a little bit of a concern in my mind. I know that my brother-in-law, my sister, my niece, her son, and her newly born daughter are all on their way to move up there to where my nephew lives in Montana, and I wish them all a very safe and blessed travel time. I know they're stopping every night. I know that they're staying at hotels along the way, and it's going to end up being a 3-day trip for them. But I hope they all stay very safe and very blessed because I love them all very much. Sam Laporta was running and cutting on Sunday. I'm quite sure they're keeping him off that practice field right now and just having him do those one on one workouts with trainers to ensure that hamstring doesn't get re injured. But at the same time, I missed 2 a days. A lot of these soft tissue injuries didn't happen when they ran 2 a days, up 33% from then. And then it went up another 15% after they shortened the preseason. So there's a lot to be said with body conditioning. What you don't see is a lot of career ending injuries anymore. We saw more career ending injuries when everybody was in shape and stuff like that. And that means they were major injuries, broken bones, stuff like that. But we saw that Alex Smith basically had the same injury as Joe Theismann and was able to come back and play for another year and a half. So at that point, medical advances are so far on most of those injuries. I don't think there's hardly any career ending injuries anymore other than like a major disease, something incurable. We also signed another lineman who's insignificant. But we won't know anything until the presser tomorrow morning, and I'm quite sure I'll be watching that presser right away at 8 a.m. or 8:30, whenever it is, because that's when you get the detailed injury report. Yeah, no problem, Will. This was a long day yesterday. For having a day off, I didn't get much rest. I went to bed. But I do have a couple pictures from camp. I mean, this one, I hope it, yeah, it shows better. That was when it was the ones. As you can see, Carlton Davis is over here. Terry Arnold's off to that side. Uh, this was Hank Fraley and one of the defensive, Deshae Townsend out there. And that's another picture of the same group. I wish I'd have got a good picture of Jake Bates, but that didn't work out. But I will say it was great seeing JMO finally fix his struggles early when he was playing against the ones and had people draped on him like white on rice. Uh, he was struggling to catch the ball. And I understand if you get your hands on the ball, you got to catch it. We preach that, we preach that, and we preach that. But there's a difference between somebody being on you and somebody covering you. I think I may go to one Pampers game this year or try to. Oh, you've adopted my nickname. But I do have to update. We are now at 496 subscribers. 4 to go. And we'll be doing our giveaway. Let's see if we've gotten any more since the last time I checked. Nope, we are still there. 4 more to go. Making that push. Considering we just broke 250 just before the draft. This has been amazing growth. Thank you guys. Thank you. Because you guys have helped me get it there. If it wasn't for you fans, I probably would still be languishing with 200 subs and just having a good time. And I still have a good time talking to you because I address every one of you. Now tell me, should I block Jeremy Bellrick Jr. since he spells the last name wrong? Or should I keep it in there and keep the disclaimer because it's funny as hell? Because his takes, even though they're out there, I think it's funny. I let him stay because that's a subscriber loss if I block him. And I love doing the disclaimer myself. Because they say imitation is the highest form of flattery. And if somebody feels like they have to imitate me, I'm flattered. And Joseph Austin, I block no one. If I don't win the giveaway, it's Rage Smoking Dad says. Um, yeah, I don't think you need to win the giveaway. I'm getting you something there, Dad. You'll love it. You're Smoking Dad. You get stuff given to by me all the time. Does everybody remember why we lost the 1984-85 playoff game between the Lions and the 49ers? I do. Do disclaimer because it's hilarious because he is so outrageous and wrong. I love your dad, and your dad, it's like me and my dad. Yeah, I get it. I love the fact my dad supports me and comes in here and chats with me and gets to see me every day. Murray, 100%. Austin, that was the where the wind took the ball right out of the uprights. Yeah, don't block Junior. It's fun because I've had some people ask me why don't I just block them, and that's why. And, and I think he does all of those little fake names that comes up. I think it's him imitating everybody because he also does David Pike with Motor City Mania. My YouTube dad at least supports me. Jay's awesome. And yes, Will, thank you for inviting me. Um, but meeting Eric R, I'm gonna point him out here. That's the guy right next to me in that picture. Um, you may recognize him. Remember Monty praying when the quick kick was off? Yes. But anyways, Eric. has been on the Travel Channel, Discovery Channel, A&E, History Channel, and even Dude Perfect. Junior, I didn't know you did that to David too. Well, anyways, he's the guy that discovered those Uperlite stones by accident because his flashlight ran out of power, so he had to grab his UV light to help find his dog, and he started seeing these stones that glowed in the light, in the UV light. Well, he gave me one of those stones, and I showed that off last night. I guess I'll show the other one off Wednesday night before we do the pick'ems, after it gets dark, so I can shut off the lights and show it glowing because it's really freaking cool. And Moonscar Blade says, I got a Uperlite from Eric a couple weeks ago. Eric is such a cool, down to earth guy, and I love talking football because he's just a knowledgeable fan. He's becoming a podcaster. Will Rock is helping him along the way, and I like it. But at the same time, you know, it was great meeting him. It was great meeting Jeff Iafrady and Booner, formerly of Woodward Sports, and now they're at Crunch Time. And they talked about the toxicity that was there at Woodward Sports, and it wasn't just ownership, it was also within. It's one of the reasons why Sean Belizean retired, because it was becoming like a, well, much I hate to say it, the ticket. Too many talking heads fighting back and forth and calling each other stupid. It's not a tore ACL. There is no report it's a tore ACL. I've been checking all morning. Quit saying it's a tore ACL. It's a hamstring injury. Gibbs did not tear his ACL. It was one report on Reddit that said that. It was not anything out of Allen Park. There has been no report. I am tired of people saying false reports today. It's a hamstring. That's funny. That was a fake report. Yes. That's what started everything. There was a fake report on Twitter. I have checked every news outlet. It is just a hamstring. My sister is traveling 1,800 miles and they're stopping every 8 hours because they have a newborn baby in the car that's my niece's daughter. So they have to stop for the night every night. So no, they haven't made it there, but they're safe. As far as I know, they're safe and sound, and I'm praying that it continues that way. Yes, as undone. Stop depending on Twitter for your news because it's fake as, well, fuck. It was an ankle injury for Rakestraw. It's an upper body injury for Terrion Arnold. All were considered minor, and we will get the details in the morning when he does his injury press release, like every Wednesday morning. I don't know who's out there putting out the fake news, but it's really bothering me. Yeah, per Adam Schefter. Lions running back Jameer Gibbs suffered a hamstring injury. That's somebody to trust. Hamstring, 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 hamstring. Oh, I've got a swear jar. I use it for as my casino fun. That's cool, Will. So this week, we are at Kansas City, right? Fake news is everywhere. Just ask DJT. Yes. I swear the people that come out with some of the stuff, it's so frustrating. Oh, and just because we signed Jake Frum that went from Farm State, yes, Brendan Joseph is getting reps ahead of Iffy. He actually made a pick against Goff, and he also had a pick against Sudfeld on Sunday. Yeah, other teams are hoping we have major health concerns. You're absolutely right, Brent. I just refuse to buy into a lot of the fake news that's out there. Yep, there it is. There is a Twitter account that is claiming that Jameer Gibbs had an ACL. There is no NFL insider at ESPN with his name, and that the ACL injury is a 100% fake. That's per Jeremy Reisman. Like a good third string quarterback, Jake Fromm is there. Right. There we go. Somebody get it. Has Fromm picked a number? Not yet. I'm quite sure his number will be issued soon. But at the same time, it doesn't matter who we brought in, if they were a vet that knows playbooks or not, because nobody knows Ben Johnson's playbook except Lions QBs. So you might as well bring somebody in that does not expect to be a starter. Signing Jake Fromm with his one game, one touchdown, and three picks in his career as a starter, it's a Nate Sudfeld 2.0 signing. It's not it's a lateral move, not a better one. The only thing Jake Fromm has is a stronger arm. I'm trying to see. Yeah. Gibbs needs Christian Watson therapy for his hamstring, just like Gibbs has dealt with. Um, Yeah, because he missed 2 games last year, if you don't remember. And I heard the only thing he had is he missed 2 games last season at the beginning of the season after the Chiefs game. I didn't hear of anything in college. Since college would be pros. And as far as Christian Watson, Mike Allstott, Allstate, no, I don't know. I just made that up because it's Jake Fromm. From is from. So Scott Erickson on the St. Brown progress, he said he nearly tore the hamstring off the bone in college. I see. I didn't hear about that. The only person I heard about tearing anything off the bone was Amon Ra. I know. I never said anything about Hipple being a legend or awesome. I just said he was a starting quarterback, and I left it at that. Uh, Adam Schefter. JJ McCarthy is expected to undergo knee surgery that will determine how much time he will be sidelined. Rodney Pete was awful as a Lion and good as a Eagle, so I hate him. I only started watching in '75, Joseph. No, he had a concussion plus a shoulder injury. He injured his shoulder when blocking for Vaki when he got the concussion. Hey, JB. So he had a concussion plus a shoulder injury. It wasn't a serious brain injury. Yeah, JJ needs to sit the year anyways. I mean, he had a great game. He had a great game against the threes, but he actually threw a pick when one of the ones was subbing in for the twos. I mean, Rusty Hilger and Bob Gagliano. Yeah, Caleb Williams did look pretty good, and Jordan Love looked great for his 2 passes. Yeah, I know. I wish we could too, because until that happens, they're not developing, and I get it. I forgot I had this, boys. How cool is that? That is a Panini Elements football. Hear it? That's a metal rookie card of Amon Ra. I forgot I had it. 19 of 99. It was 7 interception game. Yeah, that sucked. I know it's preseason, but how about them kitty cats? Yeah, I know. Doesn't matter. Blow pack blow. Yep, I hear you. I hear you, Mike Marsh. We're gonna do our little sponsor a little earlier. It's our favorite sponsor. Tell them who it is. Fuck the Packers, as Lennon would say. This comes straight from the coaching staff. This is a Lions podcast, and I approve this message. Oh, FTP. If you want to blow porcupines, you can do that. I didn't block you. You're if you were blocked, I wouldn't be able to talk to you. Dad, should we cut a Liam and bring back the Sean Hand? I see you blocked me. The views and opinions of Jeremy Belrick Jr. does not reflect that of kneecap biting with the Motor City Lions, nor I smoking Jeremy B. Yeah, Joseph Austin. Yeah, we got a Packer plane that cruises around flying his fudge flags. FTP. Just for you, Brent. When I get requested to do an echo voice, I do it. Haven't seen Buddy Quinquito yet. I think he got mad at me when I said what I said about AG. You're supposed to develop talent if you are a coordinator, correct? Am I wrong in assuming this? I want to talk about it now. If you are a coordinator, you are responsible for developing the talent on your side of the ball. AG, while a Pro Bowl caliber cornerback in his career for the Jets and the Saints, and now as a coach of the Saints and everything else, name me one cornerback he made better in the 3 years he's been here. Matter of fact, I'll name one he made worse within 1 year. I think Chicago is going to lose a bunch of their fans if they fall flat with Williams. You say FTP just like the way it's in my head, lol. Well, but let's bring up the Jeff Okuda thing. I think they are good enough to win 8 to 10 games defensively. Offensively, I have no clue, Michael Marsh, and that's where I'm at on the Bears. But at the same time, I'm going to put out this caveat. There has never been a team that played in the Hall of Fame game since its inception that has gone on to win a Super Bowl. Okay, let's look at this. Jeff Okuda gets hurt in 2021. Uh, AO takes over the number one duties and becomes a top 10 corner and ties the interception leader with 6 interceptions that year. Remember that? Fast forward to 2022. Jeff Okuda comes back from injury, has a couple of good days at OTAs, and they announce him the starter before training camp even begins. What does this do to a top 10 corner if you tell him before they ever take a snap in the preseason, you're not going to be the starter, but you were a top 10 corner last year? What does that do to your mental, your edge for the game? Uh, long term successful? Let's see. Joe Burrow, no. Trevor Lawrence, no. Tua Tonga Viola, meh, no. Trey Lance, absolutely not. Mac Jones, he's backing up Trevor Lawrence, no. Do I need to go on? Manning, yeah. Ryan Leaf, no. I was an awful 6'4" strong arm college QB, good on paper, bad in reality is a dime a dozen. 100%. If Ben Johnson goes to the Bears, we will have some issues. Not good at all. I don't think he'll go to the Bears. Right. Here's my thing. Caleb Williams had a great day, but 0 touchdowns against a secondary that's just as depleted as Minnesota's was due to injury. So based on historical precedents, yeah, gotcha. Williams will fail at least in Chicago. Let's put it this way: he played one game, he had some good stats and 0 touchdowns. He's on pace to be the next under 30 touchdown quarterback in Chicago Bears history. But it is time for me to let the Huddle Sports Network ad go through.
Total Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick TV, Facebook, and YouTube. Get all your sports news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B, Wrestling Roundup, The Big Football Show, and more, Shield TV, Lions Villain Report, and Red Zone Rant. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla, Grosef Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, The Bodkin Show, Spirit of Detroit Podcast, and Maniacs. The nightly podcasts are Hallis Hall Report, Frozen Tundra Network, Skull Gang 365, The Huddle Sports Network Open Mic, First and 10 with Foz, Main Event Football Show, Prime Sports World, The Man Cave, Prim and Proper Sports. Spitballing Podcast, Lions Fan Cave Chat, Puckett, 313 Den Podcast, The Guys Huddle, Shots from the Sideline, Let's Talk Sports, The Michigan Truth Sports Podcast, Off the Rails, NFC Northeast, Power Hours, and Detroit Lions News. Make sure you follow, like, share, subscribe, and comment. Hope you like all the shows.
There we go. Make sure you hit that share, hit the like, Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. I saw something claiming a trade for CD Lamb may be in the works. Packers send Dobbs and get Lamb. Uh, it was a fake report. It's already been nuked on the Frozen Tundra Network because it wasn't Dobbs, it was Watson. Would have been, in my opinion, a good trade. Oh, I check every trade rumor I see because if I'm going to talk about a trade rumor, I want it to be a real trade rumor. Um, and the fact that Hassan Reddick has asked for a trade out of Jets and they're allowing him to look for one, you guys got to know the whole story in that. Hassan Reddick wants to be the highest paid edge rusher in the league. That's $32.5 million or more. Uh, they've got a really good team, Brent. 100%. You got no sound. Can anybody else? Is anybody else having sound issues? Let me know. You might have accidentally hit the mute button, Pat. Can anybody hear me? Okay, you're good now. Okay. I was typing. I don't talk and type usually at the same time. But until I hear from Dan Campbell tomorrow morning, it's it's a nothing burger. But JJ McCarthy, per Adam Schefter, is a torn meniscus in his right knee and is going to be out indefinitely and having surgery on it. Yes, Riddick had 51 sacks in 4 years. He also had a higher pressure win rate last season than Max Crosby. But let me put a caveat on that. He's approaching 29 years of age. Right. I understand that, Michael Martian. That's where I'm at. That's why I like what Matthew Judon said. Did you hear what he said in his press conference when he announced he was entering the trade block a second time this year? I understand that I was injured last year and that my numbers were down, and I know that that will reflect in whatever a team offers me for an extension. I just want some guaranteed money so I know if I get hurt at my advanced age of 31 plus years old, that I have something to fall back on. So if you ask me, you got one guy that wants generational wealth, the other guy just wants a guaranteed contract. I'm going for the guy that just wants a guaranteed contract. out of the two of them. I want to say thank you again to Trace for picking me up and us going down there, because it was Trace who's all the way on the far left, Will Rock, Eric R. I don't want to butcher that name anymore. Myself. Then from Crunch Time Sports, it was Jeff Iafrady and Booner that we all met up with. Yes, I think Judon is the better trade guy. He just doesn't want to play on a crappy team anymore, and he wants some guaranteed money. Oh, nice. Steve Bauer just subscribed. Welcome to the show, Steve. Juju Smith-Schuster's reign in the NFL ended as soon as AB wasn't a part of the Steelers. He was exposed as not a number one wide receiver. Um, the Jets knew yes, they wanted it. They knew he wanted a deal, but they didn't want to make him the highest paid player in the league at that position, Corey. And I get that. And they made him an offer they turned down. And he goes, fine, go find it somewhere else. And I get that. They're playing hardball with him like the 49ers are with Ayuk. Nobody wants to give Ayuk better than Justin Jefferson down to Amon-Ra money. He doesn't deserve it. He doesn't have a consistent track record. He doesn't have 3 or 4 straight years of 1,000 yards like Amon-Ra and Justin Jefferson. What he has is a rookie year with 1,000 yards and his 4th year of over 1,000 yards. They offered him around 25.5 and he turned it down, is what I heard. So instead of negotiation, he goes, fine, I want out. It's kind of the same thing he did to Philly. I want to be generationally paid. No, we don't want to do that. Fine, I want out. So he gets traded, goes to the next team. Didn't even discuss contract first. That's on Hassan Reddick and his agent. They should have went to them and said, hey, he wants to be paid like the next Aaron Donald slash Max Crosby slash whoever got paid generational wealth this year at that position. And they probably would have went, yeah, we're not trading for you then. Now they gave up draft capital and they have to make up that draft capital to get rid of him. But now that everybody knows he wants generational wealth, that lowers his price. It also lowers the price for Judon while he's on the trade table. Okay, on that topic, I'm off the opinion Love is not deserving of his contract. He could prove me wrong, but at this time it was undeserved. Oh yeah, right. We talked about it, Michael, and I applauded you for thinking outside the box on that when we discussed the Love contract. It's a data set of one. He had 9 great games and a bunch of good mediocre games. I would rather have Judon than Riddick just because of what you were saying, JB. 100%. That's where I'm at on it. If we're going to make a trade for somebody, now, had we known Judon was on the trade block at the time we signed Davenport, would they have signed Davenport? Because you probably could have had Judon for about the same money and made a small trade for him. Corey Patterson, I agree, Michael M. I think the Love contract is good, but to get that contract for half a season, now other QBs will want the same if they don't get paid enough. That is the problem. That's the problem with paying Trevor Lawrence what they did. You can say, and it goes back even further. And I'm not even knocking the Daniel Jones thing because we all forget that a mediocre quarterback by the name of Kyler Murray is the one that started all of this when he got his $46 million per year from the Cardinals. Everybody can say that Kyler Murray's underrated. I think he's overrated as fuck. And yes, I said fuck. Fuck, fuckity, fuck, fuck.
Mr. Garrison, why don't you suck my fucking balls?
It's Manu. Oh, Brett, that's great. I just heard something huge walking bipedal in my woods. It was breaking branches and logs. I wonder what it was. LOL, it's Manu. That man is big. Big. Not just a little bit. Murray is overrated. Was Green on my 53-man roster? Yes. But I think with the concussion coupled with the shoulder injury, he can't make the roster, which is why they waived him. But I had him at the back end of the roster. I had him at wide receiver 5. I never put him up in the 3 or 4 category because he hadn't proven he deserved that. But I did have him at the 53-man roster at wide receiver 5. So I think that leaves the door open for either Darius Fountain or Caden Davis. You're absolutely right, Michael Marsh. Williams has the opportunity to earn the hype. Murray has proven over and over he's not up to the snuff. You've got it. Fred Peterson, good afternoon. It's a great day to be a Lion, one pride. Good to hear you. It was a guy named Scott G. Anderson that put out a fake report on Twitter, and I read it. And what he actually said, it makes sense, but to say it's Jahmyr Gibbs has a possible ACL tear put a lot of fear into people's hearts. And what he actually said is there was a guy named Austin Gibbs who had back-to-back years of small hammy strains. But the second year, he actually tore his hammy. This is not a torn hammy. This is a strain. And that Austin Gibbs, who is no relation to Jahmyr Gibbs, that went on the next season and tore his ACL. But at the same time, to assume that that's what's going on with Jahmyr Gibbs when there's no proof of any such thing is wrong. BLT and Fred, that's what I always say. Who is going to replace him? Like I said, it's either going to be Darius Fontaine or Isaiah Williams. Hey, you know what? You got to do what you got to do, Fred Peterson. It is Tuesday. The Powerball's at $435 million if you're in one of the states where they sell tickets for it. Make sure you get a couple. That's generational wealth. That's one-time deal for guys like us. Because that's a cash payout. If you're over the age of 40, you should take the cash payout. If you're under the age of 40, and I mean like 35 and under, at 35 to 40, you got to consider it which way you want to go because you cannot pass it on to your kids. So if you're over the age of 40, you take the cash payout, you take 45% off the top. So if it's 435 million, you will get around 217 million. You invest a half a million in a mutual money marketing account that gets a 1 to 4% monthly yield and live off the interest the rest of your life. And you can spend every penny of the rest of it and give it away as much as you want. You can become a philanthropist and cover your taxes every year by deciding on 4 or 5 people that you want to give $15,000 to, which is non-taxable for them, and you pay the taxes on it when you donate it. But it's still less than the income tax on your interest you take in. It was Chase Lucas. Chase Lucas is the first one off the team. He actually went to San Francisco 49ers when he was waived after we did our re-signings. So Chase Lucas is the first one off the team. This will be the second. But if I won that, I would give everyone here $100,000. Do you think it's an outright benefit to have a no number one receiver but a bunch of number twos? Uh, yes and no. If it's me, I think it'll be either Jaden Reed or Romeo Dobbs that wins the number one spot. I don't think Watson is healthy enough to get it yet. Until he proves that hamstring can be held together by better than duct tape and segmented toothpicks, I don't trust him. How about Barry Gibbs, JB? That's funny. Still no relation. Yeah, Chase Lucas was the first one off the team, and I just realized I got a signed rookie card of him. Except me, I'm a Packer fan. LOL. Um, I would probably give everybody 100,000 too, but it would be over time because it'd be 15,000 a year. Because I'm thinking about the taxable donations. Um, because I don't want you to have to pay taxes on money I received. But it is that time where I have to talk about my other sponsor. It is Brandis Service, right here at the corner of South Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road, 602 West Atherton Road, where in Flint, Michigan, where the tires are shit, or where the tires are good, but the water's shit. Good Lord, I can't talk today. Call to get your quote for new tires, 810-233-8230. Talk to George, Red, or myself. And if you need used tires, they start at $40 and up. Come on in. That's based off of size, starting at 13-inch tires all the way up to 22s. Check us out for those prices because they by size and by condition of tire, but $40 a tire for the used ones. That's mounted, balanced, tax included. It has been my pleasure to talk to you gentlemen today. Have a blessed day. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. It's the only way to make the world a better place. Starts right here. Much love, everybody. See you tomorrow.